I just completed a Certified RV Technician and Certified RV Inspector along with Generator and Solar at the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. In this video, I'm going to break down what you can expect from taking these courses, what it's like to stay at a Texan RV Park, and give you our personal experience and recommendations.
We're going to be covering a lot of information in this video, so I'm going to put the order up on the screen so you can see it, and if you want to jump to any section and rewatch it, you can go down into the video's description and click on that link.
This video is packed full of helpful and insightful information all the way to the end, so if you want to learn all you can about attending the NRVTA, I suggest watching every second of it. It all starts with Fundamentals Weeks, so let's jump right in.
Fundamentals Week is very busy, and we're going to cover a lot of information in this section. Everyone must take the Fundamentals class before you can take any other class, and it's the same for both the RV Techs and RV Inspectors.
And if you're taking both courses, Fundamentals will cover you for both Inspector and RV Technician.
Yeah, you don't have to take it twice. Fundamentals is also the same thing as the Educated RV Owner. So this is for people who want to know how the systems in the RV work and get hands-on experience, but they're not interested in starting a business.
And if you want to dip your toe in the water and see if this course is for you, you can purchase the RV Owner's Home Study course. You can do it online at your own pace.
And we'll talk about that more in the NRVTA section of the video, and we'll leave a link down for you in the description as well.
After you take week 1 fundamentals, you take the tech courses. You can do these in any order, one at a time or back to back. There's a few people that took vacation weeks off work. They take 2 classes at a time, go back to work, and come back to 2 more classes until they finish up on the course. The only 2 weeks you have to take back to back is the advanced courses for RV Inspector. Now the fundamentals teaches you the basics how the systems work in the RV. It shows you how to use a multimeter. They will briefly teach you how to use a multimeter. If you aren't familiar with RVs or operate a multimeter, this course will be overwhelming for you. I suggest knowing how to use your multimeter before attending this class. That way you can concentrate on learning the material. This course is fantastic. Being able to put your hands on actual parts and figure out how they work is awesome. Most people haven't seen the inside of a furnace, water heater, fridge, or air conditioner. I already knew a lot about fixing RVs before I took the class and thought it would be boring. It definitely was not.
Well, you actually took a course that was equal to this back in 2020 and became a registered tech at a different school.
But what I noticed was, the course at NRVTA, especially being hands-on, I learned twice as much being here. This class is composed of people that are brand new to RVing and others that have been doing it for 30 years. And both ends of the spectrum had many questions. So it doesn't matter what your skill set is, you'll definitely take something away from Fundamentals course.
And Fundamentals Week is very overwhelming because they pack in a whole bunch of information.
The rest of the classes normally run from 8 to 5, with a lunch break in between, and get out at 1 on Fridays. This is definitely not the case with Fundamentals. Fundamentals is Monday through Friday. You start at 7 a.m. for the small business course, and then start the regular Fundamentals at 8 o'clock. And on Monday of our class, we finish up around 6:30 p.m. For the small business classes, your spouse or +1, the person you brought with you, can attend those. There's no extra charge for them to attend. The same thing with the Wednesday Lunch and Learn. There was also a nighttime class talking about cleaning your gray and black tanks. You don't have to attend any of these extra classes, but if you want to soak in all the extra knowledge you possibly can, you don't want to miss a single thing throughout the Fundamentals Week.
And don't forget, Steve, you also came home and had homework every night.
Yes, lots to do.
Now for the spouses, Lady E held a class to teach you, they said how to cook better and how to use appliances. Well, I don't like to cook, so I didn't want to go, but I went just to report for you. And let me tell you, it is a must attend because it was not about cooking. You learn a lot of useful knowledge of how the appliances work and how to use them safely and correctly, so I recommend any of the +1s go to this class if you can. And then they also had a lunch and shopping trip planned. I think that was on Thursday. So if you're coming just for Fundamentals Week and you're bringing your spouse, you don't have to worry about them because you're going to be drinking from a fire hose and they're going to have plenty of opportunities to connect with people and go out on outings and learn stuff about RVs while they're here too.
If you want to learn as much as possible during Fundamentals Week, I suggest clearing your schedule. Do your grocery shopping on Sunday before class starts, get plenty of sleep, and ready to go for the week. Some people were glad their spouse was not here during that week. That way they can concentrate at nighttime and go back over the material. I was glad Erica was here. She took care of the house and the cats. Everything was clean, food was ready. I can concentrate on school, come home, eat, sleep, repeat. If I was not going to be a tech, week 1 Fundamentals is going to be everything you need to know to troubleshoot a problem inside the RV. Taking the Educated RV Owners course will easily save any RVer thousands of dollars in service fees, plus save a lot of time in knowing how to troubleshoot issues and know where to look. If you aren't going forward to be a certified RV tech, you'll have the option to take an exam on Saturday to become a registered RV technician.
After the first week, everyone's in the Fundamentals class, and then they took the RV Inspectors, they went to their school. Some people graduated and went home, and then they took your RV Tech group and they broke you into 2 classes, right?
Yes. And how it was structured through my group is half of them went to air conditioners, the other half went to RV refrigerators. We'd switch back and forth. And then the third and fourth week, we switch back and forth between water heaters and furnaces and exteriors. And so I don't bore you in each class individually. They all work the same. We start off in a classroom, some basic information. You go through the book, learn how things work, the basis of that appliance. Then you go through the hands-on, getting real-life experience, troubleshooting actual issues.
And with that, Steve, let's get into your first class. What was it?
It was RV refrigerators. This is my first hands-on class, being able to see how things work inside the RV. This is when I realized I'm going to be able to get more hands-on experience here in class than I ever could reading the owner's manual or watching videos.
And this is why you came to class. That was really big for you.
This is a big light bulb for me right here. We jumped right into tearing apart a fridge, to change a cooling unit, and then the electrical components. The instructor recreated scenarios from his 20 years of experience from going on service calls, so we would learn from real-life situations. We were taught how to troubleshoot and find bad electrical components and make a proper diagnosis. And my favorite day is we had to build a working refrigerator from a pile of parts. Before lunch, we took all the parts out the back of the refrigerator, put them on a table. They took totes of parts, dumped them on top of the table. There was a huge pile of parts we had to dig through to build a working refrigerator. And to figure that out, we had to go through those parts, test each component, make sure they worked, go over to the refrigerator, put them in, make sure the refrigerator worked. Then once we were done, we tore it back apart, put the parts back in the pile, and went to the next brand new refrigerator to do the exact same thing. I loved that day. Some students dreaded it, but it was my favorite. The way the classes are put together, even someone who hasn't worked in RV fridges will be comfortable at the end of the week working on them and diagnosing them properly. This class took a problem in the RV that can look like a scary monster and broke it down to something that we can easily fix.
So it was like eating an elephant one bite at a time?
Absolutely.
Is that the saying? Okay, so which class was next?
Next was air conditioners. This was a fast-paced class as well. I learned a lot of troubleshooting techniques that carried on through the rest of my RV tech classes. AC systems on the outside can appear to be a big scary electrical nightmare. By the end of the week, they are broke down to an easy system just like RV refrigerators were. After this class, I learned how to quickly go from a central point in a wiring system and diagnose an issue in an RV component. We worked on every component of the air conditioner, from the thermostat to the control box, all the way to the compressor.
Wasn't this the class that you came back and said you might not be able to do the full-time tech on the road because of all the pieces?
Yeah, and I started putting things together of all the parts you need to fix a full refrigerator or an air conditioner, thinking about water heaters and exteriors. If you're a traveling tech on the road, you might want to limit down your services you offer to something you can specialize in. That way you can carry all the parts for a refrigerator or an air conditioner without having to have the parts for every single thing on the RV.
I don't understand why not, because there's so much extra room inside the RV and especially underneath the RV, you know, those huge storage bays.
You mean every spot is already crammed and full? I got to take something out so I can get some parts in to fix RVs?
Yeah, exactly. Let's go on to the next class. What did you have?
This was exteriors. There was a lot of things exteriors of RVs. This covers between the windows, the walls, the slide outs, underneath, the loving systems, the axles. There's a lot to cover in this week. It really could be a 2-week class altogether. The instructors are very knowledgeable in all the systems in the RV and taught us everything they possibly could in the 5 days we were in class. Before this class, I was hesitant to practice taking a slide apart in someone else's RV, but now with a hands-on experience doing that in class, I'm comfortable with any issue I'll come across on the RV. We rebuilt the entire through-frame slide, a Schwinn-type slide system. We removed a slide out of the RV, reinstalled it back in the RV, lined everything up, and we troubleshooted leveling systems. Since I already had 2 other courses before exteriors, this really helped to have the RV troubleshooting techniques ingrained in my brain. That way I could focus on the multiple systems involved inside the RV.
I remember when you came back from this class, you were saying, like, I can't believe all the issues we can have with slides. You actually like our slide cables now.
As you see how RVs are built, it's interesting of how they actually make it down the road and stay in one piece sometimes. But knowing how to fix them and fix them properly, now if someone calls up and they have issues with the RV, I'm confident I can help them out on their camping trip. That way we don't have to cancel plans and they can keep going down the road.
Yeah, that's what we need. Okay, what was your last class?
That was water heaters and furnaces. This one for me took a little bit to understand how all the electrical components work together because you couldn't see them all in front of you.
Oh, is this when you came home and you took my markers, my highlighters or crayons or something?
And to make a color drawing of how things went through.
And then you're like, I got it! Yeah.
Some days you just got to draw it out on paper. Because how a water heater and a furnace, you have some things that are in the front, some in the back, and the switch is off on the other side. Without seeing all those in one spot like you could refrigerators, it took me a minute to figure it out, but once I did, I had it down pat. I used the training from previous weeks to trace the power flow and quickly diagnose the problems in the water heaters. We diagnosed the bad parts from the well-known sales switch, circuit boards, heating elements, and broken wires. By the end of the week, my brain could visualize every component in the RV, and I was ready for the certified exam.
Let's talk about the exam. How did it go? Because I wasn't there.
Well, the first part of the exam was a study session to go over any things, tie up any loose ends throughout the 5 weeks. Everything was crammed into you.
What time was that?
Started at 8 o'clock, and around noon we started the written exam. And after the written exam, we had the practical exam. We went through and troubleshooted air conditioners, RV refrigerators, water heaters, furnaces. Make sure you knew how to properly diagnose them and document how you got to finding the problem of diagnosing it. So not anyone can go through there and just troubleshoot an RV and take the exam. You got to have all the training beforehand. Make sure you know what you're doing.
Then they held a graduation ceremony. You texted me around 3, said come on down. I think we had the graduation ceremony around 3:30. Small ceremony. When your graduate gets up, you can go take a picture. It was really fun. And then our class, well, not my class, your class was the party class. And we went to the clubhouse and threw a potluck celebration. Everyone brought great food. We said bye to each other because a lot of people were pulling out the next day, and we also had a fire.
Made a lot of good connections and friends over the first 5 weeks that I was here. And great resources to lean back on. If I go out to an RV, if I don't know how to fix it, I'm sure I can call someone else up, had experience in it. That way I can take care of the customer and keep them on the road.
Yeah, you made a big network between the other techs, the people that went through the program, plus all the instructors and the TAs that were here.
Our group created our own little Facebook group, so everyone in the class can keep tabbing each other, see where they're at, answer any questions. And a few of the students, we created little small groups of like a think tank. That way we can bounce ideas off each other, setting businesses up, and answer any questions in a little small group setting, which is a little bit easier than a big group.
Okay, so we just graduated, and now you are a certified RV technician, and then you took 2 additional courses that don't count for any of the programs, but it's for your own knowledge. Let's talk about that. What one did you do first?
I did generators first. Before you take any advanced courses, you have to take the fundamentals first. Remember, go back to fundamentals, then you can take your either fundamentals and go into generators or solar, or all of your tech courses are inspector. So I took generators, which is an extra course. I wanted to have it for my own knowledge and to be able to add a certificate so I can properly diagnose generators, help people outside their RVs. They're one of those things that are pretty scary, and I'm not surprised why many RV dealerships don't service them at all, because there are a lot of components inside the generator. Once the class broke everything down, by the end of the week, things seem pretty simple.
And one thing that you missed is on the tech locator. When you go on the website, you can click who has generator training, and you'll pop up on there with that extra certificate.
Yes, it'll filter out people that are not generator certified. That way you can find someone who actually has a knowledge and certification to fix your generator. The first day of this class has a whole lot of electrical knowledge, and my brain hurt afterwards. It's a good foundation to work off of, to know how generators work. That way you can go back and diagnose and troubleshoot any issues you run into.
You were so scared when you came home. He thought the whole week was going to be terrible, and it was not. It got a lot better. So if you're scared, if you take it and you're scared the first day, it gets a lot better.
Every day after the first day got better and better and better because I tied the pieces together, and you got to work on engines and components inside the generator, actually put your hands on them. Everything made sense once you got through that first day. And by the end of the week, we went through carburetors, voltage regulators, ignition systems, and computers in the generators. That way we knew how to diagnose them. Before this class, I was scared to mess with the generator. I knew there's a lot of parts and pieces in there. I knew bits and pieces of electricity and small engines, but putting them all together in this class really helped me be comfortable working on a generator.
That is good information to know. And now, what about your next class, solar? I know you were excited about this one.
So in the solar class, just like generators, the extra class you can add, get a certificate at the end of the week, and add it onto your tech locator map so you're certified to work on solar systems. I don't know if I would say certified, but you have a certificate. However, someone wanted to.
Yeah, you know what you're doing a lot more than someone who's just looked it up on YouTube.
And I came into this class with quite a bit of knowledge on how things work with solar components. I wasn't quite sure how all things tied together from the solar panels on the roof, the proper way to connect them, and all the little tidbits that really make a system work efficiently that most people don't know how to do without taking this class. Even though I don't have a huge learning curve, if you were a tech looking for knowledge of solar, they'll walk you through everything from the beginning of the week for lithium batteries, solar controllers, to inverters, all the way up to solar panels, and break it down simply. That way by the end of the week, you know how to install a solar system properly and make everything work and function the way it should.
With your solar class, you didn't have the RV. Normally, someone who was attending the school would want solar put on their RV, and they'd buy the package, you guys would install it. That person canceled, so what did you guys do?
So with our class, I think it worked out a little bit better for us. We divided the class in two. We were able to build a solar system for each group of the class. We went from the solar panel down to the charge controller, to the inverter, all the way to the battery. We laid it out on a piece of plywood, just like figuring out things in the RV to make all the spaces fit. After we put it all together, we were able to produce power out of the inverter. We had charge coming in from our solar panel to charge the battery. It was pretty cool to see all the inner workings. It was right there in front of you, which in my opinion is a little better than the side of an RV, because the RV, you're down in the storage bay, and the solar panels are on the roof, you can't see everything all connected together. This really helped to tie things together inside my brain.
Yeah, you really like that. I think that was a lot better. That'd be cool if they actually had where you could do it on the RV, plus do it like you guys did for the class. Because I think both halves really good.
It'd be ideal if you could do 1 week the way we did it, and the next week to go into more advanced things of all the programming. Speaking of programming, I really love the programming to know all the advanced features you can put into solar system. There's some really cool stuff you can do.
And up next is the inspector program.
This class is a total of 3 weeks long. It starts off with fundamentals, which I took 8 weeks prior before my RV Tech program. And then you get into inspector class, and these courses are back to back.
Well, this building's in a different location than the Big Red Schoolhouse.
Yeah, this is where all the classes used to be held until the Big Red Schoolhouse was built for the NRVTA.
Tell everybody how these classes went.
Well, in the second week was mainly classroom work. And until I had to do inspections the hard way, which was a long way. But it was really helpful to learn the whole process and order of how to do an inspection. We also took fluid samples on our tow vehicle, generator, or motorhome and sent them to the lab to be analyzed. And we performed a full inspection on our own RV. If you don't have one at the RV park, you'll team up with someone else who does.
Well, let's talk about your first week's report, because you didn't have fun with it.
No. Putting the report together for the first time is a tedious process. We take all the photos and you import them separately into the report program, then had to sort through all of the photos to organize them, to put them in the report. You take 500 plus photos and you only had 80 to 100 needed to go in the report, so you had to eliminate some, find the right ones, organize them. It was what I would call a hot mess, just because I was not familiar with the flow of how the inspections work.
Once you got to use that app on your phone, you very much enjoyed that. Sped up the process a lot. He came home happy.
Third week, when we did our inspection, using the companion device with the phone app, you can do most of the inspection on site. You take the picture, you put a comment in there, you can talk to text of what you want to say, and then once you're done with the report, you upload it to cloud, you download it to your computer, you can do all the fine tuning to make everything pretty, and your report is done. I would say in record time compared to the first one. The goal during class is to do your first inspection on a towable RV and a motorized for your second inspection, but there wasn't many motorized RVs for our class, and I ended up teaming up with someone else, and we did an inspection on our neighbor's fifth wheel.
Now that you've went through the technician and the inspector course, what do you think the biggest difference is between them?
Well, it's a high level of technology and computer work. The inspector program is a lot less hands-on because you're not fixing or diagnosing. They are testing the operation of components and visually looking for defects in the RV. If you're not well versed in getting around in your smartphone or using computers, you might have a hard time with this course. With already completing the technician course and learning how to diagnose, it was tough to restrain myself from figuring out what was wrong with the RV when I found something that wasn't working.
Now let's talk about the Code of Ethics, because this program's kind of set up like a franchise model.
Yeah, the Code of Ethics work together with the Standards of Practice, which are guidelines for doing your report. And one big takeaway from this, if you're inspecting an RV and you're a tech also, you cannot work in that RV for 1 full year after you inspect it. That's to make sure that when you're inspecting the RV, you aren't checking things that are wrong so you can come back and do a service call on it. It really keeps the integrity in the inspector program at a very high level. The Standards of Practice is a guideline, so everyone who attends a school will provide their customers with a uniform inspection, no matter which certified inspector the customer uses.
Let's talk about what else you did in week 3.
Well, we went over our fluid samples we took from the week prior, of how to read reports and what everything means on those samples. And we also covered the business aspects of inspections and what to charge a customer.
Then on Saturday of week 3, you took the exam to become a certified inspector. How did that go?
Well, it started off with a review and study session. Then we had a 125 question written exam we had to take, which is all on the computer just like the rest of the class. And afterwards, a small graduation ceremony. They even provided lunch, and then we were on our way. When you graduate, you'll get an account so you can access your NRVI inspector locator. If you already took the RV Tech course and have an account set up, you'll access both your Tech and inspector locator information with the same profile through the RV Service Group website, and a certified RV inspector will be added to your credentials.
There's a couple things you said you want to tell everybody about the inspector course. What do you got?
The instructors are great at helping students when they get stuck on something because they're both active inspectors and have been doing this for a long time and have a lot of experience building reports and inspecting RVs. They also take the class outside and show them things we are learning in actual RVs. At the same time, they are not your IT support. You need to know how to use your phone and computer before coming to class. And here's a tip for Apple phone users. What I did is went into the camera settings and changed the photo type to most compatible. That way the photo will come out as a JPEG to work with the HomeGauge software. You must do this before you take any photos that you plan to use in your HomeGauge report.
Now you said you take around 500 photos for each inspection, so your camera has to have enough memory to take all those photos, and it has to have enough battery life to last for the entire inspection. So what do people do to make sure that their phone would last?
Well, you can have an external battery pack, and you can put it in your pocket, run the cord, plug it into your phone when your battery gets low. And I also have a separate phone for our RV tech business. That way I can use that for inspections and not fill up all the space on my personal phone.
And you also turned off the auto syncing for your photos.
Yes, I don't want all my photos going up to the cloud and bogging down all my bandwidth in the phone. I also want you to know that doing inspections is a physical workout. Sometimes you have to get down to your hands and knees to crawl underneath the RV, or you're climbing a ladder to check around on the roof. And this is a problem for some people in our class, and they do go over using 360 cameras, drones, or remote control cameras to see those areas you can't access easily by yourself, but it's not something that's covered in the class.
Now we're going to tell you about the Texan RV Park and Campus. The Texan RV Park and the Big Red Schoolhouse are two separate entities, but they work together and they form a campus. When you call and make reservations to stay here, you actually have to tell them that you are a student at the school for them to let you stay here.
They do have people come through once in a while that are not students, just passing through during the week, but only if there's space available. They want to make sure all the spaces stay open and available for students attending the school. When you pull into the park, you're going to make a sharp right turn. The turn isn't a problem to make with the RV, but you want to make sure no one is tailgating behind you and it's clear to slow down and make it into the RV park. There's actually a situation before we were here in class where an RV was pulling into the park and a semi-truck did not slow down coming behind them. They was able to turn into the RV park just enough that they weren't injured, but the back of the RV got smashed and the thing was totaled out. Unfortunately, it was the first time out in the person's RV. I felt really bad for him seeing those pictures.
Yeah, and so if you're not comfortable, if you think someone's tailgating you and you're not comfortable making the turn in, you can go past the Big Red Schoolhouse and it's just like a mile up the road. There's a turnaround, you can make it. Or if you miss it like we did, you can do the turnaround and you're like, hey, look, there it was. We're like, oh, there's the school. Oh, okay, let's go back and do it again.
It was just a drive-by.
Most of the people attending the school did stay at the Texan RV Park.
And there's some of them that stayed at RV parks around the area, some that live close that drove back and forth every day, and some that live that stayed away to home on the weekends.
If you stay at a different RV park in the area, you can drive into school each day. There's plenty of parking at the Big Red Schoolhouse. The park is a little more expensive than the other RV parks in the area.
A lot of learning and friendships are formed outside of class, at the RV park, either around a campfire or helping other students repair the RV.
And then there's food trucks that came to campus every Tuesday and Thursday to help alleviate you having to cook dinner every night. And while you waited for your food to be prepared, that was the prime time that you're having great conversations and making new friends. The internet at the park was okay when we first got here, and then when I started working on projects, I noticed between like 5 and 6 when everyone got home, I don't know if it was just the RV park or the whole area, but it went down quick. I was trying to update my website and I couldn't do it. It was just, circle, circle, circle. By the time it did anything, it would like crash, come back up. And that's when we ordered Starlink. We were trying to push off ordering Starlink until we absolutely needed it. And then we started noticing Starlink arriving at everyone's RVs. We were like, huh. And so he went out, asked people how it worked. They loved it. So we ordered it. And it told us it would take 2 weeks to get here. It actually took 3 days, so note that. And at first we put it on the ground. It worked okay, but once he was able to go to the store and get parts to put it up high and get it up, it worked really good.
I think it was hitting either the tree or the RV where I was parked, had the dish set up behind. When I put it up above, I had a clear line of sight to the sky, and everything worked without any issues in the connection.
Yeah, I actually forgot that the internet was so terrible and almost forgot to put it in the video for you. And speaking of Starlink, you can get mail delivered here without an issue. We had plenty of Amazon packages and normal stuff, plus all our marketing coming in. And when you get mail, they'll text you letting you know a package arrives, and then you can walk to the office and go get it and they write your name on it.
The classes run weekly, and so do RV park reservations. You come in on Sunday, you leave on Sunday. The park pretty well empties out on Sunday around 11 a.m. And by 1 o'clock, the RVs start rolling back in and fill it right back up. If you're looking to make your reservation, the park fills up fast. So if you get your school book, you know what date you're showing up, don't wait to make your reservation.
Yeah.
You have the best chance of staying in the same spot the entire time without having to jump and frog hop around the park.
But if you do have to, like they told us that we needed to move spots, and so a week before we had to move spots, we went and asked them, like, can we stay in this spot? And they looked it up and they said we could. Some people do drop out during fundamentals, so that opens up spots for the rest of the weeks you're there. So you might not have to move, but make sure you give them enough time to figure it out.
And now to Erica's favorite part around the RV park.
There is exactly a 1 mile loop around the RV park. About a third of a mile is paved and it's the driveway, and the rest is grass, dirt, and goose poop. There's a lot of turtles sunbathing during the day and ducks. While we were there, there's only 3 ducks that came up and ate duck food. The rest of them are very stuck up and ignore you. You can buy duck food in the office and you shake that little bag of duck food and they come swimming or walking over like, oh, they love you when you do that. There's also a small dog park so the dogs can run off their leash and play. The clubhouse has 4 individual bathrooms and showers and a laundry room. They even have a washer for your pet bedding, which is very nice. And there is a quarter machine so you don't have to worry about searching for quarters to do your laundry. And if there is a tornado warning, you're going to take shelter at the Big Red Schoolhouse. It will fit everyone in the RV park, and your dogs and cats are welcome. We asked, trust us, because there was a tornado watch the first day we were here.
Also, while we were at the school, there was a 4-day ice storm. We lost power twice during those days. The first day it went out, come back on later in the day, and everyone was thankful. So we had power overnight. The next day at lunchtime, power went out again, and this time it was out overnight. Some people left and got hotel rooms because they didn't have any power inside the RV, couldn't run their CPAP machines, but you could run your generator if you have one inside your RV.
They also sell propane at the RV park. People couldn't get it while the power was out because they didn't have a generator hooked up to it. Maybe they will in the future. So if you do need to get your propane tank refilled, you take it to the propane station, you put like the blue painter's tape on it, write your name on it, they will fill it, and then they will bill it to your account. And if you have an RV that you can't take it out, you got to drive it, you go to the office, set an appointment, and then they'll meet you down there at that time. Now we're going to move into information pertaining just to the NRVTA.
The NRVTA is the largest Texas Workforce Commission certified career college for RV technical and inspector training. If you are on the fence about attending, I highly recommend it. I can't say enough about the school and their high standards of training that everyone goes through to properly diagnose an RV. I'd really have a hard time referring someone who wasn't a certified tech and didn't go through the RV tech program at NRVTA, because their standards are second to none.
I agree, because the skills and knowledge you learned in the 9 weeks taking all the classes here, it would take you years to pick up that knowledge in the field.
And I probably wouldn't be able to learn all the things, even in all those years. There'd just be gaps and things you don't know what you don't know. Squeak's not sure if he wants to join us or not here. But if you haven't downloaded the ebook, you want to do it after this video, we'll leave a link down in the description for you.
The ebook is very thorough and will answer most of the questions that you have about the school, the RV industry, and the initial startup costs for operating your own mobile tech business or inspector business. As we're recording this in spring 2023, you can't use your Montgomery GI Bill for the military, but that should be changing soon. They're working on getting their certification for that. If you do receive GI Bill benefits through the military and you want to use them through the school, definitely call now and get on the wait list, because they have a huge wait list of people who are waiting to do the same thing. And once they get approved, there's going to be a whole slew of students going through, and it might take you a while to get a seat in a class if you want to go through like as soon as possible. So call now, get on the wait list, and please tell them that Radar Road Warriors referred you when you call. Another thing I love about the NRVTA is that they are disrupting the RV industry right now.
In a good way.
Yes. With the marketing they're currently doing, their name is going to be throughout the RV industry, and it's going to be a bonus for students who graduate for the program.
So I'm associated with this school because they definitely have things going on.
They are dedicated to providing amazing training for their students and getting their name out and spread their mission. If you haven't already heard, the NRVTA launched a reality series called RV Unplugged, which I'm going to link to in the description. You can watch that free on YouTube. And
don't forget, the NRVTA started making training videos for a manufacturer. That way they manufacture and help out the owners of their product.
And that's so needed. The RV industry is well behind on the videos to teach people how to use their RV. So they're really reaching out into the RV community and filling in holes that need to be filled right now.
They're really about helping RVers help RVers.
As we mentioned earlier in the fundamentals section of the video, there was a RV owner's home study course you could take.
And the home study course is for RV owners who want to learn about their RV but don't want to attend the school and are not interested in starting a business.
It's owned by RVTechCourse.com, which is a sister company of the school, and you get to learn what is taught during the fundamentals course without actually having to attend the Big Red Schoolhouse. We left a link for this course down in the description for you in the video.
Another thing I really like about NRVTA is how the OEMs support the school.
What does OEM mean? Can you explain, please?
OEM would be a RV manufacturer or the manufacturer of an air conditioner, water heater, fridge,
so the parts
that type of thing.
And pieces.
The parts, pieces, and RV builders. So they support the school to provide appliances and RVs that we can work on that are like real life situations.
And you would come back from class and tell stories about how you like fried something or something, wasn't good. They throw them away and they get another one. So you always had like fresh parts to work on.
Yeah, they have a plethora of parts coming in. So when students go through them and after the wires get plugged in, plugged out so many times, the things get wore out and the appliance is junk. So we have to recycle that and then bring a new one in. That way everyone coming through the school has an even learning experience.
That's really cool. If you're worried about attending school in the Texas heat, you don't have to. It is a big red schoolhouse, but they don't just swing open the big red schoolhouse doors and let the wind blow in. They actually have a commercial heating and cooling unit.
In days it was hot out when I was in school, I'd wear my hoodie because I was freezing underneath the air conditioner vent.
Yeah, so bring some layers. And another thing I really loved about this, and if you've ever been to a large event, you'll know what I'm talking about. They have a good AV system. So they didn't just have a speaker in the front row blaring the people out in the front so the back could hear it. It's even everywhere, and the presenters wore headsets, and they had microphones when they asked questions, so you can hear anywhere you're sitting inside the room.
And a big projector is very clear. If you're in the back of the room and you can't see very well, they'll take an iPad and show you what's happening on the table in front. So if you're all the way at the back of the room, it's on the big screen so you can see exactly what's happening.
Yeah, they have it set up. They know what they're doing. Now let's go into what you can do with your certification once you are a certified RV tech.
Well, you can do a couple different things. You can go off and start your own business. You can mentor underneath someone else. That way you can learn to trade that way. You can go work for an RV dealership, or you can specialize in a specific trade. You can do things like RV generators, RV solar, or black tape cleaning, or something else that's a special niche for an RV.
And that's what you talked about earlier when you're saying that you realized during the AC class that niching down might be very good while you're traveling on the road. For one, if you're not comfortable knowing the whole RV, you can just specialize in one area so you don't have to know everything about it and you don't have to carry all the tools.
There's a lot of things that go into the RV, so if you want to be able to specialize in refrigerators and air conditioners and generators and water heaters, each one comes with a lot of parts, so if you narrow that down to a few parts and pieces, things that you're good at, you'll be more efficient at it, and you can carry less parts in stock, and you can help your customers out a little faster.
Sue from Royal Flush RV is a perfect example of this. She did a class showing everyone how to clean their black tanks better. Most of the people attending the class were all RV techs going through the same program she went through, and no one wanted to clean their black tanks. A whole bunch of people signed up to get their black tanks cleaned, including us. So specializing and niching down is a really good option. Now we're on to our thoughts, recommendations, and everything else that we think you might want to know about. So what do you have first?
I think it's best to take all the classes right in a row. That way you don't forget things with fundamentals by the time you get to your final exam. Because if you take fundamentals in 1 year and the next year take all your certified classes, you can easily forget things by the time you get down to the end of the exam.
Now we know that everyone can't do that, doesn't work in their schedule, but we do think it's best if you are able to.
Watch for the email before class. They have some videos in it to teach you about cleaning air conditioners, using the multimeter, different processes they'll teach you during the school. It's much easier to learn those at your own pace before you get to the school, and especially if you haven't used a multimeter before, so that way you can learn how to use it before you get into the school.
Yeah, because once you get here, it's going to be like you're drinking out of a fire hose. If you have a bike or golf cart, we'd suggest bringing that to the school. It's not really necessary to drive if you can walk, and the furthest you're going to walk is about a third of a mile, and that would be if you were parked at the very back of the RV park. If you're a tool guy like he is, you're going to definitely find out about cool tools that you're going to want. These aren't the tools that you need to buy before class to attend. These are tools you're going to find out about during your classes that you can purchase to make your life easier once you're out and about on your own running your business.
And as far as the tools you use during class, there's a long list of tools that you need to bring to class. Mainly we use a multimeter, your 11-1 screwdriver, needle nose pliers. Yes, I had to replace it. I don't think
he's lost a couple tools now.
And they'll tell you if you need to bring some other things like some wrenches, some sockets, maybe a drill or a screw gun or things like that. You don't need to have a whole bunch of things to get through to class because your neighbor might have one you can borrow too.
What about that ladder? I said everyone had to bring a ladder.
And a ladder is definitely needed if you're taking the inspector course. There will be a lot of information coming at you throughout the weeks, and you want to organize your thoughts as you go through each class. What I did, sometimes twice a week or at the end of the week, I'd go through my notes of write down different things so I can remember the important parts about refrigerators or air conditioners, what tools I would need, what parts I need to carry. That way, when you get to the end of all the classes, you're not trying to sort through all of your notes and get confused about what's what, so you can focus on creating the business once you're out of school.
Especially you took all 9 classes, and that's a lot of weeks of stuff. I mean, just 1 week is full of a lot of information. 9 weeks, you're going to forget a lot of stuff.
My stack of books is this tall of all the classes.
One thing Stephen didn't realize when he signed up for school until he got here is that you need to take 24 continuing education credits a year through the NRVTA to remain in the association, to remain certified.
I really like that the association makes students continue their education. That way they can better serve the RVing community.
And if you don't know what the RVTA website is, that's where RV techs and inspectors can update their location on the nationwide map, which helps RVers find certified professionals in their area. This website is also where you're going to submit your continuing education credits and have access to other resources.
I also want to mention, this is where you can find information about the specialty insurance for techs and inspectors. I priced the same coverage with my agent, and they couldn't come close and told me to buy it through the RV Association.
You must be a certified RV tech or certified RV inspector, current on your dues, and have all your continuing education credits to qualify for this insurance. During the 7 to 8 a.m. morning business classes, they tell you about the Small Business RVer School. This is a separate online business program that you can purchase, which will help you learn how to launch a business. Now, I have a master's degree in business. We owned and operated our own business. I listen to business podcasts and audiobooks all the time. There wasn't anything in this course I already didn't know. So if you're like me, you don't need to purchase it. But we did purchase this because it gives us access to a monthly Q&A session for 1 year with Mark Kohler, who is a lawyer and an accountant, and we want to learn how to understand how to correctly set up our business entity and start a trust.
And we found this information very helpful so far. There's a plethora of knowledge on the monthly Q&As.
Now let's go back to the business portion of the bundle. If you do not know what the DISC assessment is, know what your letter is, know about Simon Sinek's Golden Circle, or how to write a business plan, you definitely need to purchase it. I was very impressed with Mark's book, how he has it all laid out, where you can read about the information starting the business, and then he has QR codes to scan, and then you can watch a video. It really helps you retain the knowledge and understand what you are learning. For those that want to know about us, we're going to cover that next, but we do want to remind you that if you heard about this school from us, please put us down as your referral, Radar Road Warriors. The school didn't ask us to make this video, but we wanted to put it together for you and answer the type of questions that we had before coming here. And we would have both found this kind of information very valuable. So if you found it valuable, please put us down as your referral. Actually, when we told the school we're going to make this video, they kind of looked at us like, no one's going to sign up from your little channel, so we want to prove them wrong. Now, they didn't actually say that, but I could read it in their eyes. So, Radar Road Warriors. Okay, on to information about us.
Our plan is to operate a mobile RV tech business in Michigan from May through October, and we'll keep our schedule clear. That way, if a hurricane happens in the fall or we do hurricane relief work, we can go off and do that. We also contract for a construction company where I operate heavy equipment. I love leveling dirt and those type of projects, and Erica's a laborer for that. So either way, we're on the same schedule. And if a hurricane doesn't happen, and if a construction job doesn't have any work for us, we'll start the mobile tech business where we're somewhere warm for the winter and go back to Michigan in the spring.
If you don't know us, we are both workaholics, and Steve loves to diagnose and troubleshoot, so he's having a blast trying to solve all the problems on these RVs.
And Erica loves business, marketing, and making videos. She'll be the one answering the phones, organizing things behind the scenes. She'll come out and service calls with me from time to time, laying an extra hand. But otherwise, I'll be on the road, she'll be running the business, and keeping track of the cats.
So we spent a total of 10 weeks while we were here, 5 for the RV Tech course, and then you had solar and generator,
And
a week
one
off.
week.
Yes, and that was very nice. That's this week right now, so we can kind of catch up, and he can get a lot more sleep and let his brain rest. And then he has the 2 RV inspector courses. We got a lot accomplished in the 10 weeks. Our goal when we came here was to have the business fully operational and professional by the time Steve graduates, so right when we leave here, we can start taking appointments. While we were at the school, we grew our business Facebook page and made educational videos a few times a week. We also found a great software, a CRM, to run our business, and I'm going to link that below because it is both awesome and makes the interactions with our customers very professional. We designed a website, had our logo made, I designed and ordered all of our marketing merchandise and had it shipped to the RV park, so we were ready to go the day after Steve graduated. Remember, I love this stuff and couldn't wait to get my hands on it to tackle the project. But if you're not like me, don't worry about it. Just take it at your own pace. Some of our friends didn't even start thinking about their business until after they graduated.
So if you want to follow us, see what we're up to, or ask any questions about the school, put the links to our channel's description down below.
And if you do attend the RV school, please take videos of these 3 ducks and tag us in them on social media. You'll know which ducks I'm talking about. They're the only friendly ones, and they're going to come quacking at you when you shake that little bag of duck food that you can buy in the office for them. Bye, guys.